Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Limnacker, taking a look at some of the top stories that we're following. Unfortunately, I have to start with this tragic news out of Rockdale County. A pregnant mom of two shot and killed. Really a horrific scene that is being investigated right now in Rockdale County. Here's some video that our crews captured of that scene. And our crews on the ground actually talked with a family member of the victim. The victim's cousin says it all started with some sort of an argument, a fight, a dispute. And the victim's cousin, who did not want to go on camera, tells us that the victim here was pregnant. She was in her 20s, already a mom of two, and police had been on the scene for hours throughout the morning. And Rockdale County Dispatch says that the call initially came in just before 1 a.m. This morning for a person shot at a home on the 2500 block of Gulfview Terrace Southeast. When police arrived to the scene, they found a woman dead in the home from an apparent gunshot wound. And, again, the victim's cousin telling Atlanta News First, this was a mom of two, says that the suspect took off but was taken into custody shortly after. The family member also told us the shooting all started with this a domestic dispute is what they're calling it. Police have not yet confirmed that information to us at Atlanta News First at this time. I want to get now to this report prepared by my colleague Don Shipman.
A lot of the information we're getting is from the victim's cousin. He tells us this all started with some sort of an argument and fight, a domestic dispute. Also telling us that his cousin was pregnant, has two children, and was in her mid-20s. Still an active scene. It's been this way for a number of hours. You can see police have that home right there all cordoned off with that police tape. This street is also cordoned off. Now here's what we're hearing from Rockdale County Dispatch. They're telling us that officers arrived on the scene shortly after 1 o'clock this morning. They discovered a woman dead of an apparent gunshot wound inside the home. This is in Conyers, the 2500 block of Gulfview Terrace, just off of Salem Road. Now, I can see Rockdale County Sheriff's Office here with their two crime scene investigation units. And like I mentioned, this area all cordoned off by that police tape. That family member also telling us that the suspect in this case fled from the scene, but a short time later was taken into police custody. That is not confirmed by police at this point. We're still working that part of the story. We'll continue to follow this. We're in Rockdale County. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much to Don for that report. Of course, we're going to continue to follow the latest there for sure. Okay, let's turn now to this troubled Atlanta apartment complex in court. And they're actually, the officials in charge of this apartment complex are facing a judge this morning after what officials call derelict living conditions. The problem has been ongoing for quite a while now. Atlanta News First reporter Josh Skinner reports from outside the Atlanta Municipal Courthouse.
Yeah, a hearing is scheduled this morning at the Atlanta Municipal Courthouse. 9 a.m. is when that starts, regarding the Fairburn and Gordon Apartments. That's a complex that's given the city and residents headaches for quite some time. Now, we've been on this story for a while now. This is video dating back to March. You can see broken windows, trash laying around, but the problems go back even further than that. It's residences like these that Mayor Andre Dickens and his office are making a point of targeting, hoping to improve living conditions for low-income residents.
We're incredibly aggressive at going after these derelict landlords who keep people in completely unacceptable conditions. And so this is going to be the latest example of the mayor's commitment to ensure that every Atlantan has a safe, secure roof over their heads.
The federal government is also getting involved. The Department of Housing and Urban Development announced recently they will be cutting funding from that complex, meaning residents will have to find someplace else to live. However, HUD does say that they will be receiving vouchers that will help them find alternate housing, and we do expect residents to have a presser after this hearing is over this morning. Reporting outside the Atlanta Municipal Courthouse, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much to Josh for that report. He mentioned the hearing starting at 9, and we're going to monitor the outcome once that wraps up. Okay, let's talk about fire safety, and more fire station funding could be headed here to Georgia, making sure that first responders have the best equipment, the best training when your family needs it the most. But as Atlanta News First Abby Kasoris reports, there is one more hurdle ahead.
The Fire Grants and Safety Act will reauthorize grant programs to provide federal funding to Georgia fire departments. Those programs were set to expire in July. For volunteer departments in rural counties, they say that funding is critical. The city of Homer is a town of 700 people. Most of their firemen and women are volunteer.
Sell chicken plates to provide funds for our department here.
Gary Clark, Georgia State Firefighter Association president, still volunteers here in Homer. He says their department needs a new truck. This one is more than 20 years old. 5 years ago, a new truck would cost $700,000. Now it's $1.2 million. That's a lot of chicken plates.
Just skyrocketed. It eats into a lot of other budgetary items that the city or counties may have.
Last year, they received more than $90,000 for necessary air packs from the grants and more than $100,000 for training. The bill extends the Assistance to Firefighters grant for equipment, protective gear, and emergency vehicles, and the Fire Prevention and Safety grant to hire and retain firefighters and pay for training.
So without those fundings, a small rural town like Homer, Georgia, with a small budget can afford needed equipment to keep our firefighters safe.
Senator John Ossoff celebrating the passage of the bill and looking in the long run to expand and strengthen the program in the future.
There's no worse nightmare for any family than waking up, smelling smoke, calling 911. Maybe you got a child in the house, but there aren't the resources to come and rescue your family.
The bill heads to the president's desk for his signature. In Homer, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Thanks so much to Abby for that report. Okay, let's take a live look outside. What a beautiful day. And yeah, I really enjoyed that break from the extreme heat and humidity yesterday. But I heard we're going to get, another heat wave. Here's First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris.
And good morning to you, Joy. We do have more heat headed our way, especially as we go into the weekend and early next week. Today is actually looking pretty good across Metro Atlanta. No major issues to report out there at all as we take you throughout the course of the day. It'll be a lot like yesterday where we saw that nice breeze in the afternoon that kind of took some of the bite out of the heat. Same story today. Pretty decent here for Metro Atlanta. So happy. What is this? Thursday to you. Welcome back to work, everybody. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for today. Mostly sunny skies, 83 degrees by lunchtime today, 87 at 3 o'clock, 90 at 6 o'clock. The high today will be 90 degrees. Yesterday's high was 89, so about the same as what we saw yesterday. I want to take you to the tropics here this morning because we have been watching this tropical wave in the western Atlantic, just north of the Bahamas. You can see that cluster of color. That's our enhanced satellite imagery. It's a tropical wave, so it's not officially a tropical cyclone, but we're watching this very carefully because it does have a 40% chance of becoming a tropical depression by the weekend. I've been watching our forecast models all week long, and it really hasn't shown this developing into anything fairly strong. But what will certainly happen is, regardless of how this develops, we will get the moisture from this particular system that will stream into Georgia over the weekend, and that will do two things for us. One, it'll slightly increase our rain chances, but it'll also make it feel not that great on your skin. So today's high is 90, Friday 92, feeling fairly pleasant with lower humidity at the end of the week. And then by the weekend, that's when that moisture is back. So 93 is your high on Saturday and 95 on Sunday, but especially by Sunday, those highs are going to feel closer to like 100 degrees on your skin. That'll be the heat index with that moisture back. And you'll also notice that 20% chance of rain on Sunday. It's not a high chance of rain, and it's mainly south and east of Atlanta. But with moisture back in the picture, we'll have at least some daily pop-up storms in the afternoon and early evening. That'll include much of next week, and it's possible that some of those rain chances may adjust, like we may have to raise the rain chances on some days, lower them on others. But we know that at a minimum, we'll have enough moisture back for the beginning of next week to support at least a slight chance of rain each afternoon. And as you can see, our highs don't really improve. We're in the upper 90s for the beginning of next week, so it definitely gets hot. First day of summer is today, officially at 4:51. We'll keep you up to date on this forecast with an update on Atlanta News First at noon, and always in the First Alert Weather app. Until next time, we'll see you soon.